Sean, this man here called Annie.
Good evening, everybody.
in
Welcome to
Bradbury.
the weekly Ark4Verse call with Sean. Sean, directly over to you. You had enough chit-chat time now. If you want to chit-chat, come on 10 to 7 so you can finish all the tea chatter. All right, Sean, there's a lot of any good news you've got.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Sean Allen. I'm the founder of Ark4Verse, AVP, VPP also. So this is a project that's been cultivated over the last 5 years. Only went active, you could say, into its first development last year. Last year around March, and of late with the Ark4Verse Studios, we've reached out to a number of South Africans and personal networks in a phase that we are calling the S1 share phase. It was where we are selling shares in the company prior to development, prior to going to market, prior to making a whole lot of decisions that we as a corporate structure entity will be in the very near future. So far as now, okay, we're waiting for one person to connect, I think. And Marie, hi there. I believe you're a new face on the meeting. Anil and Annie, thank you for joining us again, brother. There you go.
Annie's got a naughty face.
Avishan Singh still connecting. Avishan, are you in?
Yeah, I'm in. Thank you, sir.
All right. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, I was just to recap really quickly. Ark4Verse is in a stage of selling S1 shares, which is it's kind of the equivalent of a pre-seed phase to the formation of a company with a vision. And when it comes to Ark4Verse, we are establishing what can be seen as the first of its kind educational platform that combines blockchain technology and businesses into a united ecosystem. So it's a project that takes a lot of time to explain because of the depth and because of the functions that come with it. And I realize this every single day when I'm speaking to people, how easy it is to explain a business that everyone has experienced. So it's very easy to say, hey, I've got a car, I'm going to use it for Uber, and it's going to cost me, or I don't have a car, I want to buy a car and I'm going to use it for Uber. Car is going to cost 150,000, I'm going to be making X amount. Very easy business to understand. With us, it becomes more intricate and far more rewarding because of our supply principle. When you look at if you take, for instance, anyone that's providing education on YouTube, anyone that's providing education with the personal brand, there is a supply principle at play at all times. So if you're a karate instructor, you have a classroom, right? And you will be able to teach whatever the capacity is in that classroom. So your supply principle is finite. You can only teach the amount of people that can fit into your classroom. With Ark4Verse, the supply principle is infinite and it is scalable, meaning that if we have 100,000 learners today and 1 million tomorrow, our system can accommodate that thanks to the scalability brought through with the functions within the blockchain. So the karate instructor can now have more than the people he can reach in his classroom. Many of them are trying to do this with the use of YouTube, right? So you always see that someone has a successful formula and they start uploading it onto YouTube. so that they can make money from the algorithm that YouTube has. However, the point of monetization there is with YouTube itself. YouTube will always make the most money because they designed the vehicle. And we are designing a vehicle that can house modular education, so we can give any educator, any personal brand, an infinite supply principle and a one-time set up and forget process to onboard themselves, to onboard their education or their institution onto Ark4Verse. So we're designing a vehicle that is able to carry the next generation of education. What we in this meeting, what we as the S1 participants realize is that we have an experience which has both left us very hurt and very enriched. The experience of multi-level marketing, the experience of affiliate marketing, the magic that happens to a business when you offset the marketing from the business to its participants, to its members, to its people. Because it is much easier for one person to bring two and to perpetuate that for one business to bring 500,000. And I think that's why we're here, because we keep moving from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the next, to the if, to the what if. And that's what really brought me to sitting back, taking a look at things and thinking, how can we get on top of this, right? So I spend a lot of time and money trying different platforms. I spend a lot of time and money trying to trade the markets. I made a good sum of money when I didn't care, when it didn't matter to me, because you had that leverage. You could diversify, you could play, and I could only do that because I had a good job. I had a form of income, and I found that platforms could not replace the form of income unless you went all in and unless you kept on playing the game. You kept on playing the game. The problem is we are playing someone else's game constantly. How can we create something which gives each person ownership of the game from the moment they join? And here we are. Welcome to Ark4Verse, or Ark4Verse Studios. So from a really good idea, it has now come to a point where it's got traction and it's been noticed by some of our country's strongest initiatives. The digital transformation strategy for Africa was highlighted with the Financial Mail team, with one of my interactions at the Africa Tech Week, and we also are found to align with the Financial Mail Green Economy Initiative for Africa. Because obviously, if we're using the blockchain and we're not going to use power-hungry equipment that's needed to mine things, but we're actually using a server-based solution, a scalable server-based solution that doesn't need to strain the country on its infrastructure, we're actually solving a lot of problems here. So, that being said, how many people here have participated in any form of multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing, any form? And of late, I don't know the latest. I don't know all of the latest platforms. I know them from many years ago. I know MTI. I know Final Mente, Auto BTC, all the ones that the UIGIs are using, Daisy, any of those. Yep. We're constantly using all of those. Tonight, I'm telling everyone I have to say one statement. If we build this, we don't need any of them. If we build this, we can bolt on the ones that we find are good. And even if they're not, or even if they are, but we'll find the ones that are good and we'll get to include them in the Business Economy Initiative, which is a side-by-side product for Ark4Verse Studios. So we're going to be making the first online academy to legitimize affiliate multi-level marketing across the globe. Something that will be compliant, something that will be future-proof, and something that we can actually go in confidence to speak to our local newspapers about. Right? How cool is that, right? It's everything that everyone has been thinking, and it's just been put into a plan. Right now, we need to sell out the S1 phase. The S1 phase is by far the cheapest, and I'll make a very small comparison. One of these platforms that I mentioned, and I won't mention it again now, one of these platforms had 129 people pay around $51,000 to share 1%. 129 people shared 1% of that platform for $51,000 each. And that was 1%. 1% to sell or to buy with Ark4Verse Studios S1 shares will cost around 140,000 Rand or 135,000 Rand. Let me just do that again quick. Okay, just that I'm speaking politically correct. If my calculator can allow me for one moment. And my calculator's disappeared. Disappeared again. Grab my phone. That's embarrassing. Leon, send IT over.
Sorry, what's that, Sean? All right.
Maybe send IT over to my machine, huh?
No, I didn't.
135,000 Rand. Yep. For a pre-seed 1% of Ark4Verse Studios equity versus 129,000 people sharing that for around 750,000 Rand each. Or now that would be 1 million Rand each, right? Because it's nearly 20 Rand to the dollar. So I'm just going to share my screen. Has everyone seen this this form here, the JOT form? It's basically the link in which anyone can buy these shares from our private networks. At this point in time, it's still private, and we're just now mentioning that we are preparing to take this to the public spaces, to a few public spaces. Is my screen sharing? I don't think
No,
it is.
not
It's
yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
Okay, got it.
got it. Awesome. All right. So it's a very simple process to purchasing these shares. You can buy any amount that you'd like, as long as we still have while stocks last. There are around 650 shares remaining right now of the 1,500 shares. If you're part of the private group on Telegram, you'll notice that we're not pushing this out as a fear of losing thing. It's not a hype. It's not it's not rush in and buy. And for the simple reason that we want people to make an informed decision, to understand that this is not a token, it's not an ICO. It's not that you put in $1 now and you get paid 10 cents a day forever. It's not that. You're funding a startup company. You're starting the formation and corporate structure leading towards the development and deployment of a global economic vehicle. And this is how easy it is to do. This is a JOT form where one can purchase with South African rands or with USDT using the blockchain. That's USDT TRC20 on the Tron network. So if I wanted to buy here, I'll do this with USDT for now. If I wanted to buy 5 shares, I would simply tick the box on the left, say my 5. You'll see the total updates at the bottom. And I would say, here we go. You can type anything you'd like in the special notes. Good luck with the project. Right. Okay, and you can then choose how to pay that. In this case, it would be USDT. And I would paste my wallet address or my transaction hash, which is a TXID, whenever you do a blockchain transaction. Paste that in there. If you're from South Africa, you're able to do a direct EFT, which is obviously cheapest or easiest method. Also helps you keep track of where the money went to. You're not sending it to a unanimous or an anonymous blockchain wallet. We will be asking for a few personal details in the information section. This is because you would be registered on the CIPC document, on the company document that goes through to government. It'll ask you here, where did you hear about our share offer? And I think a small error here.
At the
Where
top,
did you-
Sean, it says there's one error on the red taskbar at the top.
There we go. Oh yeah,
At the
there we
top.
go.
yeah.
It's,
Didn't fill the name in.
yeah. Not sure what these errors are. It's my Aura wallpaper apparently. Maybe that's why my calculator didn't pop up. Is it going to do it again? Okay. Where did you hear about our share offer? Name if applicable. So if you heard about it from Leon, if Leon introduced you, please put his name there. If you've introduced someone else, they will put your name here as well. You'd be awarded 20% on top of the shares that they have bought. So if they've bought 100 shares, 20 shares will be allocated to you. Now, the first announcement with regards to the allocation of those shares will be made by the end of this week, since we have passed the halfway mark on the S1. We're also asking for source of capital used, just in case the amount is rather high, and we may need to report on where did we receive this cash from, where did they receive the cash from, and so that all of our bases are covered. Estate agents and realtors do that very often. We're asking for contact details and address, email. You can attach a proof of payment for the EFT. If you've done it with the blockchain, then it is actually not necessary. Okay, so it says if EFT, please attach proof of payment. There is a chance here to co-brand your company with our corporate website. That is still being decided on, and brings the additional functionality to the next phase of share sales. So the P1 comes with a brand new company website. It comes new with a structure, with a payment gateway that other people will be able to buy the P1 shares. The reason we are not making that live right now is because of the pre-seed, because of the S1. The S1s are costing $25 or 450 Rand. In P1, those shares are going to cost double. So we don't want to display this private share sale price in the public channel for obvious reasons. You don't want people to feel that they're paying double for what you already own. And that's why it helps to be a little bit early. Now, even when these shares escalate up to a point where they then cost around $200 in the P4s and 5s, once you see the metric, once you see the business valuation, you'll understand that it is an extremely good principled investment to make, especially when we're in those later stages, because the company already has enough money to develop everything it needs and to go to market at scale. So anyone that comes in after that point where the project is completely secure is taking little to no risk at all. And that's why it's cheaper now and more expensive later. Okay, so you can co-brand with our corporate website that's up and coming. You can upload your logo here so that we have your graphics at hand that we can put into the prototype when we give it to the shareholders. And your company website short bio. You've got a reminder here: by completing your shares purchased, you give consent to solicit calls from the project team and for frequent communication, so that we may call you, so that somebody from the team can give you a call on your personal number. I know that that is a law in many countries, just in case that is a consideration. There are some benefits to being a shareholder, not just that you're starting to make money with the growth of the company, but that you have exclusive group access to the frequent AMA sessions, which will be held privately. And when we have our community channels up, like Discord, like Telegram, etc., that you can have special tags, so you'll have exclusive representation in all of our public channels. Direct leadership contact, listings on the CIPC document, dividends or GOT tokens will be a choice. Okay, that will be a choice, or it will be a sliding scale. The GOT tokens is something very, very special. These are growth-only tokens. And the reason that they're growth-only tokens is because once you hold one, if it is worth $1 today and the markets crash, they're still worth $1 tomorrow, even after the crash, right? The only way that the GOT token changes value is when cash is injected from our cash flow model into those GOT tokens. And you can take the value of your GOT tokens at any time. However, when you do take one GOT token and you remove the value from the blockchain, that value is now sitting in your personal wallet or in your bank account. And that GOT token is given back to the DAO, to the decentralized autonomous organization. It's kind of like a piggy bank that you break it and you get your money out. Okay, but they only go up in value. So holding really does pay. It doesn't matter if half of us choose to sell our GOTs, you that is still holding have no decrease in value for the asset that you have. Okay, and also, depending on shareholders' background and experience, can also participate further with the project. So here in South Africa, we've got a number of shareholders with tremendous talents and experience, from finance to legal to marketing, SEO, that we're bringing on board to, to help us reduce costs, to help us empower the shareholders' communities with the business as well. So that's something extra. If we have job opportunities, shareholders are going to be the first to know. Shareholders can also attend our company venues. So if you're down in Cape Town or perhaps in Johannesburg or wherever we're able to set up these the BPOs, there'll definitely be one in Cape Town at first. You'll be able to visit us there, pop in, have a coffee, see what's happening, meet the teams. Okay, and then you've got your terms of purchase and a privacy policy all the way down here. Please go through these points. You'll also be reminded here of the roadmap associated with the stages. So the current stage is the private pre-sale. These are not packages. Okay, so buying the phase 2 for 2,200 Rand now, it's not going to get you more than a 450 Rand share. Okay, these are phases and not packages. Okay, currently only the private pre-sale is available. When this is sold out, we move to phase 1, and then we move to phase 2. You can see a roadmap, a descriptive roadmap down the side with each of these as we finish or as we sell out each of these phases. These are the milestones that have to be met according to this roadmap, according to this guide. Okay, and your privacy policy. Right down the bottom, you verify that you're human, and then submit the form. Once this form is submitted, it ends up on my executive board with where everything is project managed, and that's why the JOT form is really, really important in case we have hundreds of people completing JOT forms, especially at the time when we go public. We could end up with hundreds, we could end up with thousands, and it's definitely a blessing that we have all these softwares available that can tie these things together. Okay, so that's where we are. Less than 700 now available. And do we have any questions? Let me go through the chat. Let me see if somebody said anything. Oh, Stefan said, can we start? Leon said, yes, thank you. Yeah, can we open the floor? Would anybody like to add? Anybody from the team like to add? Anyone of our shareholders like to add? Or questions? Oh, Shona, you've got your hand up.
Just
A quick observation. Just for people that have been on previously, they obviously know all this. And people that are new, it'd be very important to understand that what you've touched on is not even the tip of the iceberg. So, you know, if you had to go into everything, we would sit here for hours, and we don't have the time for that. But the exciting thing is, you know, when you're a shareholder, it's a passive income, really. And to have the opportunity to buy it at such a fantastic entry level price for now is just phenomenal. I'm truly excited about this opportunity. Really grateful to Nalani for reaching out to my friend who introduced me. So, you know, just thank you, Sean.
Thank you for bringing the other half of my nationality, the UK. Thank you for bringing them. Very, very blessed. Thank you, Shona.
Thank you.
Mr. Monox, did you have your hand up, or were those little party bells?
I think it's
No.
party bells because one of these days everybody is going to realize that Ark4Verse is the only platform to join. Did you hear me?
Heard you all the way. Heard you.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I've spent some time with a few of the people. It's been really, really good that a lot of people reach out after these kinds of meetings, and then we spend some time and we go through the deep dives. We discuss a few semantics. We discuss the brainstorms, and we talk about the scope in general, and also, you know, the kind of challenges that a project like this will face. Most of the feedback that I get is that people are very happy that it has been very well thought out, that we choose not to rush things, and that we choose to enter the market from a place of compliance,
Oh, good.
just to make sure that this thing needs to be here in a decade from now, in 2 decades from now. All right, and Annie is here. Aneo.
Hey, buddy, I'm here. I've been listening, hey?
Yeah, man, you're so quiet these days. You're so quiet. So did you manage to get your first events lined up?
Okay, I'm still strategizing. I spoke to someone, so actually my brother. So he told me to do a mini conference first for free. You know, so right now I and my team are going to be meeting, then we're going to talk about that one. So before we do the big one, so we're going to do like a mini conference, probably have 4 of it for this year, then before we go for the big one. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what I'm working on now.
Okay. All right. We don't connect enough, you know. That's why we end up talking on. That's why I end up talking. I'm gonna send you the CEO of BFT. He's up in Johannesburg, and he's always doing that. So connect with him. Okay.
All right. That'd be lovely. That'd be lovely.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much.
Cool. Let's get progress. Yeah. And also just touch base with Nico. He'll go with you if you guys want to engage there.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And all right. But no, I'll still get in contact with you because there's some other stuff I need to ask you. I need your advice on.
Anytime, Aneo.
All right. Right.
You can give me a call after this, yeah. And then the new people. Chrissy Lake. I've heard Lake's name before. Haven't ever seen Lake. And is it Marie Brewer or Mary Brewer?
It's Marie Brewer.
Marie Brewer. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. South African?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. And then Chrissy and Lake. And Anil. Anil? I don't think I've met them. Mr. Stefan?
Greetings. My name is Chrissy Cook, and I am in North America, in Maine, in the United States. And I'm happy to be here for the first time and listening about the project that you have, that you're launching, and it sounds wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks, Chrissy. The second US. And you know what happens when the States gets excited. Then South Africans get excited. It happens that way. Thanks, Chrissy, for joining us. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So
And I was invited, by the way, so I want to say thank you to Tracy Ullman from South Africa.
Tracy Ullman. Tracy just left. She just excused herself, I think, in the chat.
Tracy had to
Oh,
leave,
she did.
leave suddenly.
Yeah, no, awesome.
Yeah, Chrissy and
yeah,
Lake is working on a few platforms with Tracy. Chrissy is from she's not from North America. Chrissy, you're from Northeast America. That's a whole different area or part of the continent.
Yes, I'm in the northeast of the United States in mid-coast Maine, but right now I'm in New Hampshire, in lovely New Hampshire, for 8 days watching the largest breed of shepherd dog on the planet. He's a 140-pound gentle giant named Hudson.
Name.
Good.
Leon?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and,
Okay, Sean,
Yeah.
you're already on the approaching the
Yes, sir.
40-minute mark. People, we will have another call. This is a weekly call next week, same time. The recording will be up in the private group. Have fun and show it to the people that's not been on. I know some people can't join this time. In America, it's afternoon. South Africa, it's some people eat late dinners. I thank you for being on, Sean. Thank you for your information. It was shared very well. Have a good evening, everybody. You can unmute,
Yeah,
say
before we
bye,
go,
and see you next week.
We can have a slightly more in-depth chat on Thursdays. So Tuesdays we have these, they're very broad overview, very to the point. And on a Thursday we have a more, on Thursdays we can have a slightly more drawn out, we can discuss things, we can talk, we can answer a lot more questions, and do a presentation as well. Okay, we'll put details in.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Goodbye.
Bye.
goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, North America.
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.